Are these the best new frames released in 2024? I think so, and I'm about to tell you why. So hi, I'm Robert, Style and Vision Consultant here at the Spectacle Factory, and it's my job to pair you with your perfect pair of glasses. And if you're looking for glasses that are minimalistic but classy, comfortable but stylish, the new Fuse series from Undostrial ticks all of those boxes. And they're not cheap, but probably less expensive than you might think. So today I'm going to be showcasing this really exciting new collection, as well as the different customization options. So let's begin with arguably the most simplistic style. The Fuse 001 is a quintessential minimalistic round frame. The proportions are exactly what you'd expect for an almost circular pair of glasses. It's got that slightly vintage kind of aesthetic to it, but with an extremely modern manufacturing process. You see, these frames are made from surgical steel, very, very thin sheets of surgical steel, which makes them extremely lightweight, hypoallergenic, and incredibly durable. The construction is one of a kind as well. And that's one of the aspects from which the Fuse frames get their name, which is the fusion of the temples to the front using a proprietary hinge system, where the hinge is actually screwed into the frame. Now, the weak point on any pair of glasses is the hinge. The hinge is the part that fails the most. So Luca Distel, in whose workshop these frames are produced, has created frames that are completely and entirely serviceable. And in a second, we're going to look at exactly what that entails. But for now, let's appreciate the style of this pair of glasses. We see this gorgeous filigree detail adorning the temples and the bridge. And those kind of highlights you would see in some of the world's best frames, usually produced in Japan, because the level of intricacy that's involved in that kind of finishing is top class. But these frames are actually handmade in Paris. And it's awesome to see that European eyewear might be finally catching up with the Japanese. Next up, let's try a frame that's a touch more brave. An extremely cool, slightly oversized hexagonal shape. This is a frame that is going to look amazing with the right lens tint, because a lens tint would just make the geometry of that hexagon stand out even more. And as you can see, this frame is in a slightly different colorway to the 001. There are actually 4 different color options. The silver, as we've seen, the gunmetal, which I'm now wearing, the gold, if you want a hint of luxury, and an as yet unreleased black colorway. And any of the frames can be made in any of those colors. Each pair is made to order, as is the standard in the Luca Distel workshop. And if you haven't seen my video from last year where I toured the workshop, make sure to check it out, because it will give you a whole new appreciation for that level of craftsmanship. And on that note, let's come back to this hinge system, because when examining the hinge more closely, you will see there are actually 4 screws that fuse the hinge to the temple and the front. And those have a proprietary screw head which allows for more torsion when fixing it into place, which should ensure that it never comes loose. But of course, if you were to break your temple on your glasses and you needed to replace it, this system allows it to be completely modular, and therefore just replacing the part that actually needs to be replaced. That's where the Fuse toolkit comes in, because within this toolkit, you have everything you need to service your glasses. With different colored nose pads, 4 spare hinges, a ton of different screws, as well as tools for inserting the lenses, for mounting the hinges. Thread lock is even included to make sure those screws don't work loose. A fitting tool so you can adjust the temples around your glasses yourself. This, for me, is a huge selling point of these glasses. The fact that you can completely service them yourself and adjust them yourself, not just in the initial stages, but going forward on a long-term basis, means that, as ever, Luca has pioneered a new concept in eyewear. If you don't know about Luca Distel, his eponymous brand actually makes frames from leather and stone. Yes, you heard that right, leather and stone. Probably the world's most luxurious frames, and also probably the world's most underrated glasses, because it's a brand that is unheard of in the vast majority of even high-end opticians. But I'm a huge proponent of his glasses. I think they are just incredible. The level of comfort, quality, and craftsmanship is unsurpassed. With the Fuse series, these frames are a little bit more attainable because they're around about half the price of a Luca Distel pair. So these come in at roughly, give or take, about $500 to $600, which for what you get, trust me, is unbeatable. I haven't seen frames that are as stylish as these, as comfortable as these, as durable as these, and I've never seen frames with a toolkit for that amount of money. It's just unheard of. I've been wearing the Undostrial Fuse frames ever since Luca sent me the very first pair. And I already featured them briefly in my trip to Africa. They were so comfortable throughout the whole trip. I wore them literally every day, which is rare for me because, I like to change up my glasses. But whenever I've put these glasses on, they've always been exceptionally comfortable. And so far, although it's only a few months, they've not failed me once. And I think that leads me nicely onto the 007. This is the one that I wear, and we have it here in the gunmetal color, which actually, I'm kind of tempted to get as well. That's how much I love these frames. The silver, I think, looks a little bit more premium maybe, But this has got such a sleek look, especially when combined with the grey nose pads. And as you saw in the toolkit, you can change up those nose pads as and when you want. You have, is it 4 different colours? Yeah, we've got brown, which you'll see in a second on the gold pair. We've got clear, we've got grey, and we've got black as well. And I think having matching nose pads to your frames is a really underrated feature, something that we should see more often actually. So the 007 in this grey colour is just that little bit more low key, I guess, but extremely stylish. At least in my opinion, I think these frames are ultra cool. That's one of the reasons why I've loved wearing them. It's not just about the functionality, it's the style as well. And I said before that these frames combine the best of kind of 2 brands. So Reykjavik Eyes, that I talk about all the time on this channel, the world's most comfortable glasses, with Barton Prera, who have those beautiful, intricate finishing details on their frames. And that's why these have been so popular so far. Now I know you've been dying to see this pair, and I have been dying to show you them as well. This is the 009, and it's arguably the best fuse frame that there is. The 009 is in this very versatile shield shape. And I say versatile because shield shapes tend to work for a huge variety of people. Shield shapes are when the frame is squared off at the top and rounded at the bottom. And I think the shield shape combined with the gold just looks extremely elegant. And even with the gold, Luke has gone with a silver hinge and silver screws, and I think again that little pop of contrast is actually a nice touch. And one thing that stands out even more than the other frames on the gold colorway is this just incredible temple, well, I don't even know how to describe it, temple end, temple tip. It finishes the frames off with an artistic flourish that just separates them from anything else. And you know that these frames are unique because I've never seen that done on a pair of glasses before. And it just shows the originality that Luka has. And the gold pieces, by the way, they are gold plated. And despite that, they're no more expensive than the rest. So you're getting a gold plated, stainless steel, handmade in Paris pair of glasses for around $500–600. It's just like unbeatable. And the shield shape I think would be an excellent pairing with a PhotoFusion flash lens, just like I have in my 007 pair. These glasses work equally well as optical and sunglasses, so PhotoFusion is a perfect match to them. I think it would be here as well. And last up, if you're thinking, well, all these frames are great, but I have a large head and are they even gonna fit me? Luka's got you covered because in the Fuse series, we also have the 008. The 008 will fit most bigger guys, I would say. The 54 eye size belies quite how much presence and size this frame has because it fits much larger than a 54. So if you're a guy with a larger head who still wants beautiful glasses that are extremely comfortable, the 008 is the one for you. And yeah, the shape might be a little bit ordinary, but if you are a guy who's a bit larger, then you probably don't really want glasses that are like really bizarre shapes. A safer shape is probably best, and then pair it with a lens tint to make them truly special. And to hold your industrial Fuse frames, you even get, on top of everything that I've just told you today, you even get a handmade leather case that's also produced in the Luka Distel workshop. He makes these cases from the offcuts of leather that are left over from his leather frames. And whilst not as luxurious as the packaging you get with a true Luka Distel pair, this is everything you could want from a glasses case. Genuine leather, really nice, it looks really premium, and it's the perfect finishing touch to your amazing new glasses. We are taking more pre-orders for the Fuse series. They're busy working on them as we speak. So those should be delivered in the next few weeks. If you want to pre-order your own Fuse frame, drop us an email. That's in the video description. And before we end the video, let me give you their SF score. So when it comes to styling, I think these frames are cool and elegant. They're not overly styled. So I'm going to give them a 6 out of 10. When it comes to originality, that's a tough one because again, the shapes, none of the shapes are original whatsoever. However, the construction is, and the manufacturing technique is, and some of the touches are very unique. So I'm going to go with a 7 out of 10 for originality. When it comes to craftsmanship, these frames lack some of the embellishments, details like you would see on a Masanaga pair, for example, and therefore we're going to go with an 8 out of 10. For comfort, these are close to the best of the best, but not quite, so we're going to go with a 9 out of 10. And for durability, it remains to be seen, but I've got a feeling that these frames are never going to fail in the first place, and even if they did, you've got the toolkit. I think that's an easy 10 out of 10. So that gives the Fuse series an 8 out of 10, and here's how that compares against other similar brands. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you're tempted to order a pair of Fuse glasses. I would say from personal experience, you will not be disappointed. And if you want to see more of the world's best frames, make sure you're subscribed. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks guys, bye-bye.